Get out of here. It's my son. Yo, welcome right here on Florida Hip Hop Radio. It's your boy Jerk Jerkins, and I know what time it is, man. 2 o'clock each Sunday. It's been a while since we've done this, but I have none other than the great, talented, none other than Mrs. Jhody Polk in the building. What's going on, Jay?
Good to be back in the city.
That's what I'm talking about.
Low key the way I like to be, but it's so good to be back.
It's all right though, man.
Yes.
We all need our little breaks, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I'm so protected by mine.
That's real, man. Time management, you know what I'm saying? And self-care. It's all about that. Say our names now with Jhody Polk.
Yes.
So, we're going to open the show. You got some news that you want to share, right?
Yes.
Some things you really want to say. Let's start there.
Okay, so I am officially retiring.
Wow.
For the criminal justice movement. And it's been about a 4-year. I got really heavily involved in the movement. A little over 3 years. 2017, I'm coming in. 16, coming in around Amendment 4, and never imagined, that all these doors would have opened up along the way. But I have really just been able to reevaluate. I always want to make sure that if I'm serving anybody, giving anything, being, anything, especially with my name, my reputation, my integrity. If I say something, I mean it, wanting to be honest. And so I have been doing a lot of good work, but the impact has not been good enough.
Okay, and you found a more effective way to proceed.
More effective, not even so much as a more effective way. When it comes to justice, it's my responsibility to live justice. There are some cases. My brother is going to trial on February the 8th.
That's real, real.
Yes, to me, this is historical, for the state of Florida to, be a sister and to have gone through this, as a family member, as a community member, has forever shaped, just the way that I even see what we call the criminal justice system. And so I want to be a community member. I fight, I talk about community all the time. I've been seeking, searching, trying to build a community. And the fact is I have one. Jailhouse Warriors, people inside is my community. These neighborhoods, that we talk about, that I love is my community. So there's no need for me to search for community through criminal justice. And I'm not doing it in that way. None of my people in those places, and it's always been important for me to be where my people at. Yeah. So still gonna be Jhody.
That's real.
And still gonna, use Leah as a way to empower, but we're doing that through law libraries. We're gonna be doing that through teaching the law. But as far as one-on-one relationships and really emotionally being able to plug into this larger movement, I'm limiting myself to Gainesville, and I'm gonna live it.
Well, we definitely are fortunate to have you and appreciate your more direct and focused efforts here. Can you talk a little bit about, just for the people that don't know, can you talk a little bit about your accomplishments so far? I know you're a very modest person, but
that ain't even modest. So I'll talk about.
Within within the participant,
So you spell my name Jhody, Jhody, and my last name is Polk, Polk. So anyone on a smartphone or a computer can put that in, Jhody Polk, and you can pull up videos. You can pull up stories, articles, all of that if you want to read about my
She's being modest. She's being really modest.
Honestly, my bathroom is my best time to research. Just put in Jhody Polk if you're interested. But honestly, my best accomplishments in the last 3.5 years in the movement has been, first of all, my kids.
That's what I'm talking about.
Mother, coming home from prison, let's be real.
See your beautiful daughter behind you back there.
Oh,
you're so crazy.
Sounds for real, my kids.
He's so crazy.
My son, he is amazing. 16. This is my cousin, baby. This is my little baby. So my family.
That's real.
You know, coming home from prison.
Black people love their cousins, boy.
And it's my cousin, baby.
That's real. We treat our cousins like, boy.
You
know that.
He my best. I honestly, this is my.
It hurts
best
about them cousins,
friend.
man. That's real.
My best friend.
That's
so
all right, man.
I have relationships.
Yeah.
You know, I also just brought my dream car for my birthday. I actually saved my money.
Congratulations.
And I'm an asset, you know.
That's what I'm talking about.
28. You know, so like I'm
Congratulations,
very proud.
man. That's what I'm talking about. It's not like a new car, right?
Yes, and to be able to be an owner of something, that was so important to me. You know, I didn't recognize how much personal value I would get from just even seeing my car. Like, I got work to do, you know, but like getting up every day and just taking care of myself, taking care of like my life and slowing down. So that's one of my greatest achievements. Getting ready to go back to school.
Yeah, you told me that. Congratulations on that too, man.
Getting ready to go back to school.
That's what's up, man. That's all right.
Those are the accomplishments.
Well, we're going to do a quick little recap just for people who might just be tuning in. But I just kind of really wanted you to get more, just more concise with it. So I ask you a more direct question, which is, why are you retiring from criminal justice?
I'm retiring from criminal justice because I can't do criminal justice and have enough time for Jeremy, Leon, Gerald, Dianca, you know, and a few other gentlemen, you know, and it's all men for, you know, some reason, but... We love you.
We love you, Jhody. You know that.
You know, and their moms.
Right.
You know, and so I have 5 men right now that are serving life and extended sentences, you know, that are from Gainesville, Florida, from Florida, and so I cannot give myself.
But let me say something real quick, because I used to always be kind of like slighted or offended that like it seems like everything nowadays is geared towards, and this is just my opinion, man. I used to feel like, hey, why is everything geared toward like saving our girls, and it's our guys that's filling up the jails, like what? But then I had to realize that that empowerment that our ladies are getting, I shouldn't feel bad about that. That's the ladies that are doing that. And it's up to us brothers to do more of this. So just the fact that you're stepping in and kind of doing the work that a lot of our men, because nobody knows how, you know, what we go through. You definitely know because, you know, you've been on the flip side of that, but then you don't know what it's like being like a male going through that. So we as black men, we make up the largest portion of incarcerated individuals. So it would seem like a lot of this work would be done by more of us men. And that's not me trying to talk about men at all. That's really just me trying to tip my hat to you for even stepping in and helping us. Because, again, I guess what was really frustrating me the most that I didn't even realize is that that's not coming from a more masculine place. You know what I mean? So shout out to our women for focusing on our sisters. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I just feel like, you know, we got to kind of, I got to talk about me first here. You know what I'm saying? Not just us. We got to kind of lead the way a little more, I feel. That's just my personal opinion. Because, again, we do make up the largest portion of people in jail, so who else can talk about this more than us, you know?
And then also just, like, I turned 37 on Monday, and 7 was, like...
Happy birthday.
Thank you. I did 7 in February 5th. This year will be 7 years that I've been out. So, like, also, I've just gotten to this place where it was like, oh my goodness, like, I've been out now as long as I've been,
nice.
You know,
that's a milestone.
And to, you know, get to this place and even think about what have I accomplished, you know, when, how am I living my life? And safe communities is probably the foundation, you know, of my work. And I've been really just being honest with myself, like, what makes my community safe is not police. I don't care how good the laws get or the laws change it or none of that stuff, to be honest with you. Like, for me,
they're not getting cats out of trees in our neighborhood.
You know, like, but let my cat get in the tree. Like, for real, somebody better be there. Now, I ain't even playing about that. Now, I'm so serious, but when it comes to
I didn't know you had a cat.
I have 2 black cats. Trump and Joe.
That's so funny.
And I love them so much.
Yeah.
You know, so but at the same time, black men is who I'm holding to be accountable.
Right.
Getting older. You know, I was married to a white man and, going through my divorce, but at the same time, like, having
Don't worry about it. I'll edit that out. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I bet you would. That's not doing it now.
I'll edit that out later. Don't worry about that.
Having my son, having my daughter, she deserves to have strong black men that are going to be young black men approaching her. When she's in school, when she's not with me, when I'm out, and I look around and I feel unsafe, it's a lot of places we don't feel safe.
Say that.
We strong enough to stand in there and be bold, but I don't be safe. When I look around and see a black man, I'm looking, right? And when I see that black man, like, I want to be safe. So in addition to holding my commitment to these 5 mamas, these 5 families, these 5 men, one happens to be my little brother, that does identify as the China doll. But at the same time, holding men accountable right here in our community, to like stand up for what's right, to be somebody safe, not just somebody I'm good enough to lay down with, not somebody good enough to send me your cash app, you know what I'm saying? Not somebody just good enough to like talk that game with, but like be there. There's a lot of violence happening in Gainesville. Like as a mom, there's so much, and so like I need black men. We need y'all.
Amen. I'm with you on that. We talk a lot about the system here. We talk about the system every couple of weeks. Talk about different systems. But if I could ask you, who is the system? Like, who is that?
And I'm also retiring at work. I hope to never ever be caught talking about the system again. I have wasted so much money, time, energy, sanity in fighting the system. And, I'm just learning. So system to me is the Alachua County School Board. It is the Gainesville Police Department. It's the Sheriff Department. It is the Health Department. It is doctors. It is the elementary schools, middle schools, high schools. It's the University of Florida. It's Santa Fe College. It is the city commissioner and the people that sit on that. It is the library. And it's anybody who has placed themselves underneath this title of leadership that receives support, funding, even if publicly, prayers, somebody that is in exchange, in agreement, as authority, as representative of community. That is system. And so I will no longer be using that name. I don't want somebody just call me a black woman. Don't just call me a legal empowerment practitioner. We have an understanding that's my title, but you address me by name. You can call me Jhody, you can call me Miss Jhody, or you can call me Alchemist. Outside of that, or you can call me Peace or Justice. But that's what I agree to answer to. So to me, that is our system, is those positions.
Institutions, positions,
Those that's democracy. That is what makes Alachua County, or what governs Alachua County.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that is that body that communicates even statewide and nationally to say what is relevant, what is necessary, what isn't. That is the power making body inside of Alachua County.
Right. I think that's one of the things that we kind of lack in our community is the fact that a lot of times we don't really realize the equity in things, like where, we pay for GRU, we pay for these public entities. They owe us, you know what I mean? And I think we often think that it's just a one-way street, but we don't really expect or have knowledge of the fact that these public entities, these public institutions, they're responsible to us just like they are anywhere else on any other side of town. So I really think that there is you really onto something there, man.
It's so simple. It's
right.
two solutions to that. First of all, we don't know. If we really knew what money and what resources and what power the commissioner, the mayor has, I mean, come on now, we'd be tapped into that. If we recognize how much ownership and how much right and privilege we had in that'd be different, but also practice. I thank God for the National Council. I stay in nice hotels. I just recently felt, a couple nights, Hotel Ilio over there by Sheds.
Nice.
I haven't went over there, y'all.
It's nice.
Priceline and
right there by the old Guthrie's.
Yes.
Yeah, that does look very nice.
Come on, I went in there. I was treated like a queen. Shout outs to the Aloft. every other month, I go over there and get me a room for a night or two. These are not, when you get these points and things like that, and we live in these towns. National Council treated me like a queen. Being in the RPCP family, somebody, I've been served. So, like, even you talk about these Gatorades. Yes, go give me a Gatorade. They have that big hole.
Oh, she talking to me?
And that's not
she
demanding.
She want me to go get it?
But
all right, I guess
to being served.
That's real.
Even when I worked in hotels,
I like
my
that.
team loved to serve me. They didn't have money or nothing like that. Project Youth Bill, those youth, and it was an unspoken agreement because I carried myself. But that was, people had to teach me like that. The FRRC teach me. I was a princess at RPCP. That was a space just for me, my team, and I built, even in prison. People served me and treated me. And so, like, I've recognized, like, our people, we ain't had nobody serving us, and building us up in that way. And so, like, that is a part of, like, my justice, too. You know how many people, like, I'm exclusive. But when I'm with my young crew, you know what I'm saying? We at Starbucks. We in Boots a Million. When we walking around, right here in Gainesville, exploring things differently. It creates something in them. My daughter, she better be bad and bougie. She better, you know what I'm saying? I expect life to treat her as the young lady, that she is and is becoming. And so we had that practice, and I look forward to serving Black men, to serving our community, to serving, our youth, so that it don't feel unnatural, when we hold that same expectation from these leaders.
Right. That sounds a whole lot like freedom.
I'm free, baby.
That sounds like freedom, man. And Harriet Tubman says, she said she could have freed a lot more if they knew they were free. So when somebody like you was just so openly free and confident with them, I want to say this going forward, but definitely historically, that can be scary to some people. Like, us, like,
it was scary.
Like, what is like on Django when he's on that horse and he's dressed like what that nigga doing on that horse? You know what I'm saying? Like, so
But I told my brother.
So I appreciate you just being that shining light for other people.
And it is fear. And most of us out here, because I'm going to be real, if we say we who we is, and I'm for the culture, now let's be real, we ain't scared of nothing. So the first time that it hit me like a year ago.
Yeah.
And it hit different, like, oh my, that's fear. And I remember calling my brother like, bro, I'm in the bathroom crying. I'm scared. When I recognized what I wasn't saying in the courtrooms, when I recognized how scared I was when Julius, with my own flesh and blood, got into the system. So how dare I, this scared entity stand up there for these other families, but I'm not, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like that fear ain't real. And so like I'm looking
It's not real.
It's not real.
It's not even real,
so
man.
I'm going to be the other shoulder, the other voice on our shoulder reminding us, because like I am scared sometimes, and I have been scared. But like it ain't nothing for us to be afraid about.
I'm loving that, man. Let's talk about on-the-spot justice. Injustice by name and action. I'm not sure what that means.
So on-the-spot justice is a practice that I have been practicing personally, that I hope to really grow in our community, and it goes back to who is the system. And so for years I have been saying it's not just enough, like, yes, we're going to do ban-the-box legislation, we're going to do social services, whoever's doing that stuff, like, they do that. But, like, what does it look like? Injustice is injustice. If you're disrespect, you know how many people call me? I've been getting a lot of calls lately about these schools talking to formerly incarcerated mamas, like we not the mamas that's taking care of and feeding these kids, about the disrespect of police and, child services, and just, the impact of when we being in a place and you start doing good. You get more enemies than you get supporters. I'm just being real.
Unfortunately.
Let's be real. With the moment you say, I'm going to start doing something different, and you start just blindly doing good, it seems like more people. So let's rewrite that narrative. Right. The better you do, the harder it gets. And so we got to be able to call injustice out on the spot. It ain't no more waiting. That's the whole basis of why we're doing Say Our Names Now. Don't wait till I'm arrested. Don't wait till I done killed myself. I love the little baby, Desiree. that was on, the show.
Shout
What
out
would it
Desiree,
look like?
Desiree Brown.
Shout out to Desiree. I'm her #1 fan. I cannot lie. I wake up different, after just witnessing her, and I can't wait to meet her, But we got to be on the spot. Like I said, when I am afraid, which is most of the time, and I look out for that, and I'm looking for something. I'm looking for inward safety. Hopefully, I'll be able to say, "Excuse me, brother, I need your help." I love those videos of it was some of the brothers showed up to some of these places. Now I don't condone, all types of violence, but like really started like addressing, the issues. If the mayor doing something wrong, if our officers doing something wrong, if we commit a crime, the police like right there to pull me over, to show up on the scene immediately. And so it's not just spot checking us and responding to the crime that's happening in a violent way, but like we got to start responding to injustice. If social services, if they talking to you like you crazy, you doing what you got to do. You know how difficult that is. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes to go through those processes. How difficult. I had to call a little cousin and say, "Hey, can you come with me to this pawn shop to pawn my stuff?" Because like honestly, I ain't got no choice. But like that, it don't feel good and it don't feel right. But like I gotta do what I gotta do. And then you get in there or you get someplace, you done built yourself up to knock on this door and ask for help. For somebody that's paid to help you, somebody that's building a brand off of helping you, and then it ain't no help there. So we're gonna check that too.
Absolutely.
And like start making a safer community where we can really address all injustice, whether it's the bus driver, whether it's the clerk, whether it's the waitress, whether it's the mayor, the police, whether it's the young dude in our neighborhood. Most of the crimes ain't even getting reported in our neighborhood. So to me, on the spot justice is we're going to start checking it on the spot when it happens, in the now, and really being more responsive because it's levels to it.
I think the kids call that on site.
On site.
On site. All right, let's talk about.
On site that we use is totally different.
Oh, well, hold on. Let's. I need to be enlightened. There. What? That's not what on site mean.
What we use for on site is mean like when we see you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was talking about. Okay.
Got more than just the hands.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's just that we're not gonna fight, but I think that's right. That's not the same. We just we're just gonna be on site with the defense of with the knowledge. We ain't gonna punch nobody in the nose.
We ain't gonna punch nobody.
All right, let's talk about building versus living community.
I have been beating myself up. Even I'm formerly the community justice director at for the River Phoenix Center for Peace Building,
right? And
worked 2 years. Almost 2 years. A year single focus on Village and Forest Green, and then working with Lachey Johnson over there. And wow, I met a lot of good people. That's just one of the most unforgiving parts of my career. To be in this place of trying. It's almost like trying to fit a star peg in a hole. And just constantly, going through it. It really was traumatizing of trying to help people and then, being in this position, needing the same help, that they do, and like just being, railed. And so I don't believe that we have to build a community. There is a community. I have had the opportunity to travel all over the country, all over the world to learn all types of different processes. But I'm gonna be honest with you, like this is the first time I've actually had a chance to just reflect back to, living in Sugarfoot. The times that I lived in Cedar Ridge, Free Blue, Rodriguez Foster, I'm waiting for Blue to come home.
All right, shout out to Blue.
You know what I'm saying? Like, remembering, like, even like my mom, like, I've been very disconnected, and just recognizing, like, my mom, she's strong. My mama, she's so strong, she's so powerful. Like, I haven't seen my mom in that way in like 14 years because, like, I've been building community, and building community says, like, poverty, race, trauma, like it builds, like creates these right and wrong, and
In
I
reality,
feel
it's just not like that.
It's not like that.
Right.
But that's two-faced. When I'm over here in a place that's marginalized, disenfranchised, and I'm using those words, but then I'm over here proud as disenfranchised, marginalized, like recognizing that I was out of alignment. So like to me, building a community means us, one community, a tribe. If we, OTB, said, hey, we wanted things to be different. We want to get into position. We want this, we want that. Then that is us building. Only we can build our own community. And so, like, I haven't had the honor of, like, living in the community in a long time. I left in 2007, I left my community in 2007, and I haven't lived in it since. And so, I'm going to live in community. Dudes, but step it up. I'm coming. I'm about to rebrand NBA. I can't lie. I'm about to rebrand. It's only 24 hours in the day.
I'm ready to. I'm excited to see it, baby.
And that's living. That's not justice. That is justice, but that's outside of building.
Right. You talk a lot about the youth a lot. You talk about youth build, the work you do over there. We mentioned even having some artists that we might be bringing in some subsequent weeks. But talk about the importance of youth. Talk about those years that we all want back and all that.
So I don't want it back. I'll be honest. If I ever had to go back,
you want to go back and make different decisions, no?
If I ever, because my decisions, I really
you learned
made
from.
mine.
Okay.
I mean, who to say I was wrong? I survived. I was one of third up finest. You know what I'm saying?
But did you die?
I did not.
I feel you on that.
Did not die. And so those are now my most proudest, skill sets. To be honest, think about the world that we live in, the mess that I've been seeing. As somebody that knows politics and democracy and all of the, outside of our neighborhood, it's a lot. It's messed up. And so, like, I'm proud to have those protective skill sets and to have an understanding, of, like, we don't belong to a lot of the stuff outside. But youth, it's not that they're just the new generation or the next generation.
Right.
I've been recognizing as a parent just how much, like, it's different worlds. And we are creating the model. It's not even the model, but we are the foundation for our young people, to be able to not just be something different. We tell them all the time, and I noticed that with myself, like, I can't try to right any of the wrongs in my past by riding my kids. If we believe that they were leaders, if we believe that they were the next future and generation, like, to me, it's important to start making sure that they have all the tools necessary. Protective skills, that's one thing, but they need money, they need property, they need assets, they shouldn't have to worry about nothing but dreaming and doing and being empowered. And so, like, economically, I'm starting to feel that responsibility. Yes, we know how incarceration affects black men. Yes, we know. And so, like, where's the money? Where's the resources? Where is the foundation?
Tangible things.
The tangibleness for our young people to be able to live, you know what I'm saying? But also, because they compete, and I see it doing to them. We talk about, what they call it, where you know how to put on, you know how to talk in different languages or whatever. I'm not teaching my kids how to flip-flop between different places. Flogging it, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to show up this way for this person. You got to show up if you go in the career source this way. You got to show up in school. I'm promoting my kids being themselves and being themselves everywhere all the time. They have certain desires and needs that the school ain't going to provide them with. I don't care how much going to school they do, they're not going to be able to use that to be able to generate the vision that they have.
That reminds me a lot of, I was watching this is an old Kanye West quote, but he was talking about his artist at the time, which was Big Sean, and he was saying how when they first met, he talked to him for about 2 hours, giving him advice and all that kind of thing. He said, but then, he said, had he not offered him a record deal and actual money, and not just money, but an opportunity, then really the whole conversation is just him sunning him. You know what I'm saying? And he said that was the difference. He's like people, the generation that precedes a lot of the youth, they feel like just their words and their knowledge will be enough. But a lot of times, if you're not really offering these kids a real opportunity, a real thing, actually like something tangible that they can actually like work with or actually build off of, and then really, I mean, it's just like you're just sunning them. You just and the words are good, but they're not as effective as you might think, you know.
And we criminalize our black youth. And again, anybody that knows me, there's layers to blackness. You know, and I represent a specific layer. So I might not be talking about you and your kids. You know what I'm saying? And your blackness, but I'm talking about our kids. When I do circles, you know, with the youth at Majestic Oaks, and they talk about their superpowers, they sound, you know what I'm saying, a little different than, you know, others. The only thing that these kids have been given to work with is their anger, you know, and violence. They haven't even been given a paintbrush. They have not been given, you know what I'm saying, like an opportunity to see themselves. I give my kids the physical stuff that they wanted. I was giving it to them, and then seeing how it actually was making things worse. They weren't ready for half the stuff that they wanted, but it was good for them to see that, like, a cell phone, hair, nails, basketball, clothes, they don't make you. It actually makes you more, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you on this flow of greed and just having, and you're going to blow with the wind. But I'm telling you, how many young people, they got a voice, and we ain't even heard it yet. We don't even know what they want. And so, like, I'm excited to be able to help them translate that violence and that anger and that pain, that fear that they have of being themselves. When they see Miss Jhody, but they still see, okay, Miss Jody's still smart. That is not one or the other. You can still be yourself.
You can twerk and go.
You can still twerk and
run
shit,
a business.
and run a business. You should be. If you're doing what you're supposed to do, like, we gotta stop showing them that life is
you can have
hard.
gold teeth and
no,
and
we're
run a.
To be struggling.
Yeah.
No, we're not supposed to be. I'm excited to ride a yacht soon. Things I never thought about, and it's not something wrong with that. I am running a business. I'm learning every day how to run that business. I got a small team. It just hit me recently. I was feeling like I gotta grow big. I gotta have these big things, and it's like, no, that's not actually.
Not really. No.
I got a small team in New York that go hard for me, and they understand me. They move with me. They know me better than I know myself. And why would I, so like, I'm excited. Like, I do see our youth are flexible. They're willing to be themselves, but also learn something, and they're willing to say no. They're willing to say, I don't want that. And they do know what they want. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, we criminalize, I've recognized that as a mama. You know, that we criminalize our young people and just telling them how bad they are, how wrong they are. That's not the way. You know, challenge them. My son, I love the fact. You know, like, most of the stuff he think, like, man, girls, we invented that. But, like, I challenge him and I hold him up by being that standard. You know, so, hey, judge a tree by its fruit. You can't be out here saying you're orange, but you only produce a banana peel. So if you say you're orange, I'm going to be there to taste your orange tree, and if it's bitter, and if it tastes like apples, you know what I'm saying? How are we challenging them in ways that are healthy and not breaking them down? We got to stop teaching them that they got to fight for. Why they got to fight the system, but then they wrong if they fight in the neighborhood. Fight is fight. You can't tell them that you ain't no survivor, you know what I'm saying, and all that, whatever, but then we expect them to survive in the school. And we out of line. And as adults, we got to be better models. So I'm excited to not be so over the bucket that I can't listen, but to also have enough respect with our young people that they trust me enough, you know what I'm saying, to tell me the truth. And then be in positions like we are to bring them more opportunities so they ain't out here fighting.
And I just think it's so important, especially to you, man, like, that you're relatable, that they can actually reach you. They're somebody, and that makes a world of difference. Because even kids, they recognize who they can and can't express themselves to. So that's real, man. I respect that.
Some people feel scared. When I walk in the room and see them, 9 times out of 10, Miss Jhody, that love that I get from them, that is enough for me. And
that's
so,
real.
I take a project, you feel I ain't gonna lie, or like just young people any day over any other work that I've done because it's an investment.
I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of the young people you're gonna be bringing up here too.
Yes.
Let's talk about principles, values, needs, and conflict in the Black community.
We got to start defining it point blank.
Mm.
You know, me and you've been having conversations. We're still doing Say Your Names now. We are still locking down this space. We are still using Florida Hip Hop Radio, .com as a safe space. But we got to start defining it. And I'll be real. That's the one thing I love about me. I don't mind telling the truth. Because there ain't no...
Talk about that process of defining it.
Defining me, what is values? Now, I don't know who are listening, but who will listen? Ask yourself. I just learned what values was at the River Phoenix Center for Peace Building 3 years ago. And I'm the smart, talented Miss... And again, I'm talking to my people. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to our people. What are values? How can our kids be safe to move? How the hell can I be safe to move in our community if I don't understand what our cultural values are? What are the principles that we stand on? Because I'm a little unclear. The one thing I always said is I am the watchdog of Alachua County. I want to know what the principles is because you best believe I'm on site. And so how can we do that on-site justice if we don't have a clear understanding of what are the values, what are the principles, what are the needs? I've started get ready to get my real estate license. They hit me. Who the hell said we can't own Linton Oaks? Greg most of them apartments. Like, I know Greg got a price. So Greg, if you listening, start writing it down.
Yeah, we coming for you.
It makes me feel good. Money-o. I'm born and raised out of the dirt. We got whatever. And so, like, it's not enough for me to sit here. I am a peace builder. I'm an alchemist. I know how to take shit, turn it into light, And so I believe in magic. And so I'm excited for us to define what do we value? What do we value? What are the principles? What do we want? What do we need? What does it look like for us to take control? Malcolm X said, you know what I'm saying, that separation wasn't segregating, but we need to be able to separate unto ourselves and come to like-minded. Don't mean we all alike. You know what I'm saying? But I shouldn't feel unsafe. And if I am unsafe, I want to be shit. If our neighborhoods is one way in, one way out, I'm for it. But we should stand for something. I'm ready to be in position. But I'm also ready to hold us in position. And so, like, that's a conversation that I just feel like, I don't know, it shouldn't be different out east and out west. And if it is different, what is the difference? What do we stand for? And so, like, as a representation, you know what I'm saying, of blackness, true blackness, in Alachua County, those are just some of any conversation I'm gonna have. I feel like we need to talk about that. When we out there looking good, that's that shit stand for something, mean for something. And we need to stop just feeling it. I'm not gonna say what we need to do, but I hope we can not just feel that pride. It's time for us to put a name to it.
Right.
It's time for us to name
it. To manifest. I want you to talk a little bit about healing. How do we heal as a community, Jhody?
So, some people call it shadow work.
Okay, what's that?
Shadow work healing is actually dealing with the thing that has caused harm.
Like confronting it.
Confronting it. And then we'd be quick to say, we're going to confront a person. But I'm talking about...
Confront that hoe!
If you're going to confront it. But when you confront her, after that, it should be solved. If you and her confront it, and then you still walking around, and you ain't confronted shit, or you ran up on it or whatever, but it's time for us to heal. Heal me, I got scars. They there, but they don't hold no power over me because that's healed. It hurt like hell, you know what I'm saying? My tattoos at first look like this, but it is healed. It shouldn't be any, other than a victory.
Yeah, it's over with. It's
over with. It should become a sign of victory. It should be an altar of what I come through. Like Lil Boosie say, he wore I-10, on his neck. That's a memory. And so we got too many memories. We got too much shit. Baggage. But then also, we just not being truthful. Some things I recognize like that I wanted to heal from was things that I actually love about myself. You know, and so like
That's really deep.
who said we wrong? I am
Yeah.
prejudiced in a lot of ways. I am super biased about a lot of things. There are things I just don't like and I don't agree with and I ain't fuck. And I'm communicate that stuff, you know what I'm saying? Because I want you to be the same
And
with
there's
me.
things that you shouldn't be ashamed of for being and liking, right?
Because if you come around me, my brother or my sister, and you have no idea what that is, and I had to start practicing that in my house. You know what I'm saying? Your family come around, it's just certain shit like rules that you have. I don't like people to put your foot up on my, you know. But I got a cousin that may love to put. Some people love to cock their legs up, you know. But every time they come over there, and I don't say nothing. You know, but inwardly, shit, you be having a whole conversation. You be sitting there looking at the legs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Real. So we gotta heal.
You hear the voice over in your mind.
And then now you can't stand that cousin.
Yeah.
But you see what I'm saying?
And
It's
he
so
over there, he don't
sad.
know what's going on. He worried, he trying to figure out how he gonna pay the bill. Nigga, we ain't worried about you. And you got this whole scenario going on.
If your mama hurt you, and I done seen that. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of children raising their parents. We got a lot of parents, y'all need to get off their back. Let them babies have their lives. You know what I'm saying? If we as adults done some things, you know, that has brought us to a place where I don't know how to ask for help. We need healing in our minds. Those things that, I call it long face, that poverty mindset, we got to heal that. I don't deserve, we got to heal that. It's my fault. We got to heal that. Guilt, that shit is a lie. It'll have you married to a whole person you're supposed to be married to. Right here feeling guilty about something you did when you was 15. It'll have you making agreements that you never wanted to agree to. Now you're stuck in a relationship because you're scared to tell this person the truth that you wasn't attracted. That I met you when I was lonely as hell, but I done bossed my life up and I ain't lonely no more. You gotta be healed from the hurt that it caused to renegotiate these relationships. But that backwards and forth, that out of alignment, not only do it hurts us, but it hurts the people that we're in relationship with. And so healing creates space. And that's why I'm also, you know, another reason for retiring is I'd rather be a healer. You know, people call me and share the most darkest, deepest, haunting, you know, and that's a process. You know, of dealing with that rape in the inside of you, of dealing with that molestation in the inside of you, that can't get enough, that sexual. And 9 times out of 10, we recognize, you know, there ain't shit wrong with us. But sometimes we recognize that what we're carrying is never ours. There's so many intuitive people. What you're feeling is not even yours. You're feeling the stuff of your partner. We be around here, I've recognized feeling guilt for our children, and we be out of mind. So we got to start healing, and we got to start sharing with one another. And so once we can be strong as individuals, I can only imagine then collectively, you know, what the movement would look like.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of progression for sure. So moving on to some next steps. Some more things that we're gonna be talking about. I'm sure we're gonna be talking about a lot of this in subsequent weeks as well. But I just kind of wanted you to kind of gloss over some things to kind of just set up a basis, basic information.
So definitely Sundays. You know, we are going to be looking at the dates and looking at actually structuring that. But the way we're going to be using Say Our Names now is because I will no longer be doing participatory defense. I will only be doing jailhouse lawyering and really, you know, doing research and training lawyers and training future lawyers on how to be better legal empowerment practitioners and working directly with our jailhouse lawyers. And so we will be using this space to really, I don't think special or unique. I really am looking forward to just being a community member. But I recognize that the knowledge, you know, I've had experience. It's not even the knowledge.
Yeah, and
I've had experience.
And I appreciate you recognizing that that's needed.
You know, and so we are going to be making sure that you have enough information to be able to go and ask the right questions and not feel uncomfortable. Standing up for yourself, your baby, your man, your lady, you know, and standing up to the layers and levels of people in the system. So we're going to be preparing you for on the spot justice, specifically in the pretrial phase. These are judges, state attorneys, correctional officers, and law enforcement. You know, those are your main key stakeholders in that space.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you look down at it like that, and I mean locally, these are going to be conversations geared towards residents and we're going to start highlighting those stories. I know most of us like them first 48s. You know, we talk about it amazes me how first 48 in cops is like, you know, it's like black shit. But
I like First 48, but I'm not watching no police shows. But I guess First 48, First 48, yeah, First 48. But yeah, because Cops is classic now because it was, you know, the 90s and you know we I don't know, but I'm not watching CSI all day, man. I'm sorry, man. But
shots out told to the people that.
But you're right though, because like I actually do like First 48. I never thought about that because I'm a person that's always talking about the police shows. I ain't watching no, but I do like First 48. So I don't know. You're right. You know, I never thought about that.
Look at somebody next time you at your people's, you know, around your close people. Look at that YouTube browser. So I'm telling you, it has been one of the good things that came out of my brother's case is we hear about death, like the media, you know, and shouts out to our Jerkins for being our own media outlet. Like this is so important to me. But
Thank
like
you.
we only see stories of us not winning. And so like there has been some people like if you ever give me any type of kudos, give me kudos that one of your own left her did that 8-year bid and she came home and what the enemy meant for bad, like I turned that thing around. I could never have a Jailhouse Lawyers initiative had I not been a jailhouse lawyer. So not feeling bad for me. We got some people that have overcome. We got some people that have shut it down. And so we're gonna also be highlighting those stories. We're gonna be our own little first, you know what I'm saying? Like past 48. But
Yeah.
like there's some people. We got Marianne Van Dogen, right here in Gainesville, home on parole. We got, you know, so many people across the state, but also right here in our community that have stood up to that system and won. But so many people that has also gone through it and through going through it has learned some inner secrets that, you know, we can be using to transform the system of oppression, calling it what it is, this criminal justice system that's so, you know, out there. We're going to be highlighting those stories so that we can collectively be, you know, gaining wisdom and relationships to stand on spot, you know, on site against these issues.
Talk about supporting our own. What you mean by that?
So, because Leah being more now of a training and a research unit, as we're out here, I'm living, right, in community. And so, like, I expect to come here on Sundays with my community, and we expect, you know, to get our needs met, especially with communicating them. And so there are a lot of needs that, as a nonprofit organization, that wasn't the role of a nonprofit to fix, you know. And so we got to start taking care of our own. It's people out here living inhumanely. It's not just about money. It's not just about grants. Some people need cooking. Some people need transportation. Some people need help, you know, in ways that they're not getting. It's not enough to just have a social service. It's not enough. Some people need help with actually saving, accountability. And so as we're getting to this place where we can define our values, our principles, our needs, and communicate them, I'm going to be dependent more so. I ain't even running. I'm a part of on the board of Community Spring and Grace Market. Love, you know, those two spaces that I contribute in. But I'm not going to be looking to Mayor Pros and Chief Tony Jones and nonprofits, you know, to meet the needs of our people. Them people got resources and all that stuff is in place, traditionally been in place. But there's another layer of need. When I think about the wisdom of Highland Court and Lincoln Estates, and, you know, like there's resources beyond what we typically, you know, imagine. So as we start communicating needs, I'm going to be calling on the grandmas. I'm going to be calling on the wisdom. I'm going to be calling on the living experience of real community of our own people to be able to support one another. It might be bartering. You know, it might be, I'm telling you, sometimes I be needing them $160 hairdos, you know, for a little bit. Like, we got some skills and we got some talents, and you know, even the dancing, you know, even the we need spaces for our young people to learn some different skills and to be conversations that need to be had. And so we're going to be depending on and calling out and depending on each other.
Cool. Let's talk a little bit about the Sunday Music Cipher. I don't know if it's all the way planned yet, but just tell me what you got in mind and what we got to look forward to.
So I'm an alchemist. So typically I be done said it, right? Before it be done came.
I like it. I like it. I like it. You got to speak it.
You know, I band lab. You know, I was dating a dude that was like, okay, you know, like the band lab, but I noticed we got a lot of, not everybody is your Juice Youngin or your, you know, Fulio or your, like, we got some young and up and coming artists and very proud, you know, even we just talk about Raw Youngin, Lake City, but we also got some talented. When I think about Mari, 15-year-old, killing it over there at Majestic Oaks. You know, my love, Avis, shout out the little one that honestly got music and got skills, you know, and so that's also language. When we talk about the movement and music going to the movement, like I think about what I listen to, you know, inside of my car, and not just in my car, but the music and the art that I'm hearing in the neighborhoods, and the conversations. I get to hang out with so many black men, and it's not sexual, and it's not, but it's a safe place, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I get to hear and be a part of. So Sunday, we're gonna be highlighting. It's time to stop decriminalizing. Most of the young people, you know, and men that are gonna, you know, be able to come and we'll be able to, you know, let them, you know, lay it down, but also to be able to just hear a glimpse of who they are. These are people that you see and we write off. These be the ones, you know what I'm saying, we judging from the outside.
Mm-hmm.
Them be the ones that are isolated. So if this is our space, like, I'm excited. In the beginning, I imagined all these big names that I knew outside of Florida to bring into this space, but I'm excited to bring, like, some real people, like, from right here, you know what I'm saying, to be seen, to be heard, but to also share, like, their gift.
Yeah, and I think that's important, too, man. You might be grooming the next Missy Elliott or something, you know what I mean?
The next mayor against
yeah, the next mayor, whoever,
the next
you know?
city commissioners,
Yeah.
our talents, you know what I'm saying? They ain't just limited, but I'm telling you, man, we got to be black owned, Washington County.
That's what I'm talking about. That would be something. Community pop-up. What you had in mind with that?
Neighborhoods, we coming. There's some amazing people in addition to our very own Jerkin. Shout out to Layla Fakori, the Adonis, to just even Dream Defenders, but we've been just historically outside of community.
We should have them on this week.
You know?
Kiara and a few others.
We're going to start showing up. One of the things, me and Kathleen, shout out to Kathleen Hernandez from Dream Defenders, TMC, but we were just talking about how traditionally, she, you know, comes from a Latino culture. We celebrate when times get hard. The lights get cut off, I'm going to make a barbecue with all the food in the freezer. You know, because we know it's going to go bad, but we learn how to, and that's magic. I've learned now and as an adult of turning nothing into something. And so, like, we don't need no reason. We ain't coming out there to clean up. We ain't coming out there for no hot dogs. You know what I'm saying? We got Carl Watts. We got Chef Empowerment Underground. We got, man, the finest, they say creme de la creme. You know what I'm saying? At the top. And so,
creme de la creme. Yeah, gotcha.
Thank you.
I forgot about that.
If you can,
And shout out to Carl Watts too, man.
Come on now.
I've been spending money with him for like a week now, man. That food, that fried chicken is so good, man. But he's doing some big stuff for Black History Month. He told me he's gonna be. I'll let him announce that, but he's gonna be doing some. He's gonna be giving a lot of food away to the community. I'll let him give away the details, but shout out to him, man, because as you know, his food is top notch, and for you know what I mean. So for him to do that every week,
had a cold shrimp. I appreciate it.
all right, that food's delicious, man. So shout out to him and what he does, and I appreciate you even linking me with him, because I mean it's a pleasure to have to know somebody like that as well as you, you know.
All over. So you ain't just gonna be coming in our neighborhoods when it's voting time. I'm already telling you, I'm gonna have to shut down by then. If you coming in our neighborhoods for traditional organizing, get ready to just skip on over that.
The buck stops
and go
here.
Halloween. You know, go trick or treat somewhere else. But we are about to start showing up and showing out. that's the one thing, that I'm proud of myself. Another accomplishment is I've gotten over my poverty mindset, and I am willing to work for what I want. And so, like, I want to serve, I want to celebrate. And so, Leah, but also just as a proud member of black neighborhoods in Washington County, we're going to start popping up. And we're going to start, creating a culture of building those values, those principles. That is research, if you want to call it that. I guess that is community building. But we ain't coming out there on no organizational. We're coming out there to celebrate. We're coming out there to be. We're coming in to tap in, coming in to learn, right? Who we are. Because everywhere I am from now on, like, I'm going to stand for my community. So looking forward to just bringing fun and bringing.
Yeah, that's exciting. It sounds exciting. Like a big cookout.
It's like a flash mob in a way, but like we're doing some real. Yeah.
Instant family reunion cookout.
Yes.
I like that.
Shout out to Papa Duck too.
Shout out to Papa Duck.
Wow.
I didn't see that one coming.
Oh my goodness, man! When I tell y'all, I sometimes be like, who is the father of the culture? Like, I really, because at 37, like, I'm getting older and feeling myself. I ain't gonna lie, like, I'm be proud to leave my own legacy behind. But I remember Papa Duck, like, 2001, 2002 came through, and like, I remember even being in work release, getting ready to come home, and he just did the remix, to Rich Homie Quan. And I mean, to me, that's one of the greatest, like, shout outs to Florida. And I've been building up my credit, like, watching him. Like, it's been so refreshing to have a black man that's our own to be able to call out, like, violence and call out wrong. And so, like, I've been really just watching Papa Duck and just being so thankful that we have him and that he did not leave the culture and he ain't changed, but like he really is like some
real correction and growth look like.
Yes, standing up for our people, speaking out against like the violence of just them criminalizing T.I., Tiny, and just making sure that we also. Cause I ain't watching no CNN. I ain't even do the look everything. You know what I'm saying? Like we not a part of what's going on, and so he does a good job of also like making sure that we just not blind out here because it is a whole other some stuff growing.
That's absolutely right. Yeah. So shout out to Papa Duck for that, man.
I
mean, definitely doing his thing. Always has. It's just good to see. It's just good to see us. But one thing with him that's very apparent is he has the community. That's his focus. It's the community is at heart first. So not himself. So shout out to him for that, man.
Yes.
A big one, actually two big ones, education and economics. Talk about that in relation to what we're talking about here.
I'm happy for us to be kicking off the Justice series and to leave behind archive, the knowledge that I have and just what I know as far as legal empowerment and criminal justice, the pre-trial and post-conviction. But more important, like I have, like I said, been really learning and investing in myself around credit, getting ready to get my real estate license, getting ready to go, to college as a violent convicted felon. I have violent charges, like I have some of the charges that don't get on the 5, 10, 15-year list, and so like that's more exciting. What I'm most excited to like share, with our youth. Going to also be looking at creating spaces, inside of different neighborhoods. And actually, what is Bitcoin? We just seen the 10-year-old, his mom had invested the shares in him with GameStop. And then they were like $6.97 a share. He cashed his shares in. That ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? We got young people out here. What does it look like? It could be shares, actually talking about money. I love getting our young people bank accounts. LLCs, like I've been hearing about it, right? It's a lot of stuff, and it's a lot of people just like me that would have just kept working hard. Because we ain't got no other choice but to survive, and the best we can do, man, come on. I'm about to get ready to buy a building too. Learning about, the Airbnbs, learning about the stimulus package. It was more than just a stimulus check in those packages. The Small Business Association, shout out to Ty Loud too, because she was been trying to put us up on the Small Business Association and business entrepreneurship, you know, and there's a lot of people that's doing it, but it's too much money and funding and information out there that's so simple that I don't understand why not more of us. So I'm looking forward to the people in the jail starting their own businesses.
Right.
People that just came out of jail starting their own businesses. People actually being able to go from unemployment or cash assistance to making $20,000, $30,000, and like not just making money, but it starts with a mindset. I made over $100,000 in 2018. I was broke by the end of the year and wanted to stay broke. Having money was just not the answer. That's why we see so many people, and I think that's just harmful. So excited to be able to share. To me, that is justice, and I have been on the fence about it, but really sharing with people how to start your business. You know, if you call me, if I'm going to answer my phone, it's going to be having classes and not doing that stuff for no fee. You know what I'm saying? That's information I've learned, you know, and practice and put together. And so, like, making information accessible to our communities in a way that they don't have to go spend all their money, all their resources. But first of all, who are you? What the hell do you want to do?
Right.
And then once you know what that is, like being able
identification.
to, put the right relationships in places, but also create the pathways of your own blueprint, you know, for success. So I'm looking forward. Like, I can't possibly like grow if my community not growing. If you growing,
that's
and
amazing.
the people that's like close to you, like, I had to check myself. Like,
Yeah.
who the hell?
That's weird.
You know, they not growing. So
Right.
I'm looking forward to coming up together.
I like that. I think that's the only way. I mean, don't nobody want to be by themselves and
Swerving in traffic is only illegal if you're the only car swerving in it. You know what I'm saying? But think about it in other places. Like, you got people collectively moving together. And so, like, my vision, I have a vision of what my life should look like. And I would never again live outside of it not looking like that. You know what I'm saying? It's too real inside of me for it not to be the way that I know my life should be. And so that includes all of us. I'm
that's
not
real determination too.
alone in that.
That's real, man. So we are coming to a close. I want to allow you to kind of just speak on anything that you want the people to know before next week.
So before next week, just really want to say, pick yourself up. I hope that you don't remember nothing about me, because I ain't the type to answer no phone all the time and be there, you know what I'm saying? But when you down, in that moment when you hear yourself saying, I ain't nothing, when you know that we know what we know the truth. And so if you need permission to step up, step out, ask for help, like, I'm giving you permission right now. You worth it. Yes, it's gonna be scary. Yes, you might fail. Yes, your mama might be mad. Yes, you might lose dude. Yes, your kids might be. It don't matter. You are important. Put yourself first. Putting yourself first is not shaming God. Putting yourself first is not ungodly. You can't even love God if you don't first love yourself. So I just want to just give a big shout out to yourselves. You know, most of us are doing so much for others, but trust yourself. You can't put that oxygen mask on first and celebrate. I don't give a damn how bad it was yesterday. Whatever is for tomorrow is for tomorrow. Take 10 minutes and celebrate the hell out of yourself and for what you have survived and for the opportunities of tomorrow. And I'm telling you, catch me if you can. So
she's hard to catch.
Excuses. You ain't gonna be able to say RPCP because of the nonprofit. None of that. You know what I'm saying?
That's
that shit
real.
don't make me. Those have been amazing experiences, just like the experience of being black, just like the experience of being in that prison. And so it's no more excuses. No more excuses. I love y'all. Excited for what's next and excited for the takeover.
Cool. We will see you guys next week right here on Say Our Names Now, featuring Jhody Polk right here on Florida Hip Hop Radio at 2 o'clock, right?
2 o'clock.
2 4 every week. Don't go nowhere, man. Keep it locked right here. Let's get to some music, y'all. I should probably stop the live video.